Hi guys, welcome to Real Talk Show RTS in short if you like. And we are here to talk about the real issues, to have a candid conversation about what is affecting us, especially as the youth from our universities, our learning institutions, all the way to the out there and in our country in general. My name is Haimba Simon.
My name is Willie Wizi KE and welcome to the show. Don't give me a break. Okay.
Okay, so allow me to do an explainer, a breakdown of the how the delegate system works. So this is how it goes. In a school, we may have schools, departments, and colleges. And so in every department, you find that each department needs to have 3 representatives. So for instance, in an institution which has 44 departments, we have 3 from each department, which totals up to around 132 delegates who will in turn elect the students' executive council. So how are these delegates chosen? We go to a popular vote, a mass voting system, in that we have, if for instance in college A we have 3 departments. So in each of the 3 departments, we will have the candidates. Let's say for each of those 3 departments, we have 5 candidates in each. The students of that department will vote, and the top 3 candidates will proceed to be the delegates. And of course, the 2/3 gender rule is considered. They will proceed to be the delegates. So from that school, which has 3 departments, it will produce 3 times 3, which are 9 delegates. So those 9 delegates, together with other delegates from other colleges, will be brought together, and the number cumulatively will be used to elect the student executive council. Now note, the students who elected these delegates can only tell the delegates by word of mouth, kindly vote for this candidate. Yeah. He's the right person for the job. But it's not a guarantee that the delegate will vote for these people. So you find that this system can be easily rigged, in that you can decide to vote for candidate A because candidate A is your friend, or because candidate A supported you in your election as a delegate. So you find that the students on the ground, actually, they do not have much of an impact in electing the student council, the student executive council that is supposed to advocate for them. And remember, these delegates are paid by the institution to elect these leaders. So will it be wrong to say that this system favors the highest bidder? That's the breakdown of the delegate system.
That delegate system, you find that if I want to be the president for a particular institution, I support and finance particular number of delegates that I know will help me win the election, the president election. So when I support them financially to go to those popular elections and they win, of course they're going to vote for me as the president, without considering am I eligible to hold that particular position. You get? So we end up having leaders, rich leaders, but with no brains. And we are having leaders who could lead the institution in a better path, but since they cannot support, they cannot pull those crowds, those numbers, those delegates by paying them, they are not elected. And that's a problem that is facing campus politics.
My brother Willie Wizi has spoken about the issue on the impact of money in the student politics. Can we also look at a particular institution X, whereby for you to vie, you need to have completed your fee, from the delegate to the school representative to the executive council. So will I be wrong to say that student leadership has become a preserve of the rich? Or can we say that if you do not have the amount of money, maybe if you've not cleared the fees, you are not really a leader? So you'll find that it is really a discriminatory system, a system that only favors those who have the financial muscle to maneuver these streets. And then we further speak on the point of, are these elections really transparent, or how does the administration have a hand in them? You find that, for instance, for you to be a leader, the first criteria, you have cleared your school fees. The second thing, you must have a good conduct, which is a good thing. The other thing is, you must have not sat a supplementary. In some institution, you must not have sat a supplementary, and you must not have a disciplinary. And it is the same institution which takes charge of the exam that is supposed to verify you. Don't you think there can be foul play in between there? For instance, if you are a very popular candidate and the institution doesn't want you on the ballot, what prevents it from giving you a supplementary, or maybe putting a disciplinary? When you look at it, the chances of those who are not really loved by the administration making it to the ballot are very minimal. And we have numerous examples. And that's why we strongly feel that this system really is not for the comrades, but it is for the institution, and maybe for those who are in bed with the institution. Now, on the issue of the transparency, are you able to put in check somebody who did not elect? As who? Imagine I am a student going to the student council offices and starting asking them, this money that you are given, where did it go? I'm going there in what capacity, as who? And sometimes you may never find the answers you're looking for, because you are not known, or just because maybe your name is not out there. So you find that as much as you may have the concerns and the queries that you may want to raise to this administration, you are limited. It's only maybe delegates who are maybe known who can be able to ask these people, we elected you, what have you done? But are these delegates, do they question? We are yet to know. We are yet to see some of them questioning these issues. And so in a nutshell, that's the breakdown of where the Duale bill has led us. And as I move to my co-host Willie Easy, on this next particular issue is, okay, yes, we have the student leaders, whether we elected them or not, but let's leave it there. Now we look, they are here in office. What is their power, or what are they doing for the comrades? Apart from the representation which you've spoken about, what is the power of these student leaders in regards to the administration?
Student leaders have the power to tell the institution when they are wrong, that the comrades are not happy with whatever you're doing. But that's just a theory. In Kenya, you will not apply that in any institution unless you just don't want to continue their studies, because immediately you tell the administration that we are going on a demonstration on Monday, we are going to do this and this. They'll threaten you. They tell you either stop that, or we remove it from the system.
We do our thing.
We do our thing. So most people, most leaders fear. The leaders have the urge to lead those demonstrations. This is their role, this is their power, to suspend activities in the school and mobilize comrades to come out in large numbers, so that they can, in case their right is being infringed, they come out and defend it. But immediately they do that, the school will obviously mess them up. So that's the fear.
Yeah, that's a good thing. He has mentioned about the fear of how the school might react to any decision that they make. Now, that clearly brings out the ethical dilemma that sometimes you have. For instance, you find that I can stand here today as a student leader and say that on this day of this month, we are going to have a protest. The next information I received from the institution is a letter sent to me and also copied to my parents.
Ama portal haifunguki.
You know, you find the portal is not happening. So this is how the system imetufikisha place yenye you find that they give you a very tough choice. So are you going to fight for the comrades uende uweke hizo maandamano, ama are you going to prioritize your education, or are you going to water down your 20 years of study and lose this degree? The same society that you are fighting for is the same society itakuwa na mjudge. You see, unapata sasa this situation yenye when we have these leaders wenye they don't really have that student backing. So they'll always direct that backlog and that what's it called, hiyo mzigo yote wanakuwekelea. For instance, utasikia hii maandamano ikifanyika, any property destroyed within the school premises, it's on you. Sinyi ndio umeita maandamano, it's on you. So you find that the administration, if they do not get their own person in power, mwenye atakuwa anasema enda A, anaenda A, enda B, enda B. If they do not get that person, the other person ataingia. Threats, you'll hear threats are flying around. Or if you do this, the same student, our student council constitution, the constitution which is for the students, it gives you the mandate to maybe suspend all activities for a certain purpose. And it's not a purpose with any malice intended towards anyone. It's just a purpose to make our voices heard. Because to be honest, we have a government which has proved time and again that the only voice they understand is the voice of going to the streets, the mass action. And so whenever you decide to do it peacefully, you find that you are being threatened. So napata like hiyo impact ya student leaders, as much as tunaweza kaka hapa tuweke kwa grill, enyewe pia wao wako na their hands are tied. Yeah. Like ni kama msek kufunga mikono and then akwambie slap this person. You see, the extent to which you can swing your arm iko limited.
Yeah, and you may end up falling.
Yeah, so napata ni hiyo process wameifanya, the school imefanya hii process imekuwa very complicated. For instance, tuseme we are the student council na tunataka kuweka choo hapo, si ndio? You want to build another washroom facility hapo. You know, it's not something you can wake up and decide in the morning, because you find that there must be lazima ifike hapa iende to the Senate must approve. So napata they've made this decision making chain very long and very tedious for us to be able to achieve. And then we are forced to come and question. Now, if maybe really we do not really have much of a say in this, why are we even having these positions in the first place? Because if let's say the Congress ndepitishe bill, the school Congress ndepitishe bill, lazima iende approve kwa Senate. Unapata kwa Senate, the students wako na only close to like 2 representatives. Like itakuwaje? Mbona why is it that we are supposed to go and vote? Why are they including us in that voting when they know that we do not really have much of a say in that? But now, like, the administration it has always been powerful, but this new way has made it more and more powerful. The same thing we've spoken about the accountability. Inakuwa ni ngumu like uende ulize mtu mwenye uko elect.
Yeah.
Ni aje hii pesa imekuwa breakdown. And that's I believe in our country, hapo ndio shida nyingi zimetugongea. Hapo ndio imeshikika tugonga mangumi, in that tumekuwa, you see that uncle, kuna that uncle mwenye atakuja na mazawadi nini akuje kwenu alete, but sasa akienda kwake watu wanalala njaa, like kwake they do not enjoy the same benefit. In that tumekuwa na double standard. Tutaenda huko nje tuna shout Mr. Who must go. Yes, we are still part of, it's our civic responsibility, but again we are also part of the problem, in that kutoka hapa from the ground level, hapa kwenye mali tuko na impact, wase wenyewe are they accountable? Wizi ni mara ngapi umeenda hapa school rep yako kamwambia yenyewe hapa tuko na shida hapa ime-address waje? Ni mara ngapi tumeenda kwa hiyo student council tukawaambia mzee ulipewa close to 300k to run this event, unaweza tupea breakdown of when umetumia 300k, utuambie sijui nimetumia kuhire this, nimetumia kulipa the people in alikuwa in charge of this. Unapata it's very it's actually close to never happens. and yet tuna expect sense
The national government.
in the national government to get sense. Some of these people, they were student leaders,
Yeah.
and some of them in Akwanga, there's one thing somebody told me is, in this way in Akwanga, you better die a hero than live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Because unapata these people, when we are out, we advocate, we say tunasema hivi, you're supposed to do this, but when you get into that system,
You become
a drop of milk in a very dirty ocean. Of course, unakuwa so consumed. But I believe if we start down from the low level, learning to question, learning to accountability, tutaweza kufika to that place.
Just to add something there, I think in Kenya, we have normalized corruption to an extent that it is something that is okay to be corrupt in Kenya. People only fight corruption when it is another person who is not their friend, who is not their relative, practicing corruption. But if corruption is being practiced to help you, you will kind of not talk about it. You'll see it like a help.
Yeah, it's actually true. There's one of the Harvard orators, his name was Jonathan Roberts, and he said that exclusivity is only a crime when we do not receive its spoils.
Yeah.
And he further said something about that. We've built a society that whenever we see a person suffering or whenever we see people dying because of preventable things, we say that maybe that's the world, that's how it should be, and there's no need to change for it. So we'll say, like, unapata, if my uncle, like, there's one thing here tunafaa tuseme. Actually, hii pesa yote inapotea kwa serikali, it's either in your father's pocket, your mother's pocket, or your uncle's or your neighbor's pocket. Hakuna mtu mwingine anaiba hii do. Na tumeinormalize, tunasema, hey, okay, if I ask you a question, just a food for thought. Tuseme mamako ameiba 800 million. Haija leak to the public, but who umeijua? Will you report her? Utaenda kwa police station uende say, mzee nimekuja nipe hiyo obi niandike bana. Hapa hivi Madhe ametoka hii gava 800 million, walai niko na evidence. Will you do that?
No.
No. Most of us wouldn't. But sir, you find that now that's this type of system we are trying to fight. A system which is rooted in us. So napata, like, as much as tunaambiwa, if we really want to end this corruption, we must start from the low level. We must learn to question. We must learn to stop. We must stop saying that these are how things is, these are how things run. There's never been an issue with things running this way. Until we take that bitter pill of starting with our self-evaluation, moving to the person who's next, this person who's closer home. Ndio tutaweza kuachieve. There's a time I was engaging the dean of my school. I'll not mention the name. And he actually asked me, okay, mlienda kwa maandamano, mkasema nani must go, Mr. must go drop ABC, reject ABC. Okay, we rejected ABC. ABC was dropped. Mr. must go. Okay, hakuenda, although there are some changes zenye zilifanyika. So he asked us, after all that, what have you achieved? Bei ya unga imeteremka, bei ya nini imeteremka. And so one thing I realized is that we have different people. We have people who are looking at the short-term goal. We have people who are looking at the long-term goal. Because one thing I responded to him is that, you see, today we are living in a world which I could only dream of yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I dreamt of a world where manze hii kitu hii ianguke because itatumiza. Sasa imeanguka.
Yeah.
That's what I could achieve. That's the much impact that I could. If I can be able to start from this low level, nisemenye from my school, staki corruption hapo. Aya, the next person akuja seme from my college, staki corruption. The next person akuja sema from this school, no, we've only made a step. You see, you make a step, you do your impact. The next person makes an impact. So we may not be able to end corruption today, you will not be able to end it this month, this year, or maybe the next 5 years. But the moment mi nitafanya my part, the next person akuja afanya my part.
I think a good answer also could have added to that point. The response will be based was a good one. Ungemwambia like there's something that we call political awareness among the youths that was not existing before. Before the anti-finance bill protest, youths like were interested into affairs, matters, governance in the country. But after that period, we have seen a lot of youth coming out and like they are taking the mantle. They want to lead their country. They want to ensure that there is accountability in their land, which was not existing before. So when somebody asks me how did I benefit from the anti-Gen Z anti-government protests, I can say that we have become politically active in the country, and we might have young leaders come 2027 as a result of what happened. Vile tulikufa wengi but pia ilitusaidia tumegain vitu mingi. Si lazima tugain hizo sijui finance bill waliangusha manini. Those were just a trigger. But the bigger thing to benefit ilikuwa that political
education and political awareness.
Yeah.
That's actually a good point.
Ile kubeba ufala, there was that politicians wanaweza kuja hivyo to brainwash, Like sasa mtu akikuja kuniambia about the constitution. Mimi nimekaa chini, I know the constitution. I will tell him or her that this is not in the constitution. This is not right.
Actually, hapa ndio mmetufikisha manze. We have to stay in our houses with a constitution.
People are working with constitution everywhere.
Manze, in case wakuje naambia bana in this article manze, you have my freedom of expression, freedom of whatever. Unaona, this is where the government imetufikisha. We have to work with we have to live with a constitution in a institution.
So in one way tunasema government ilifanya poa ku come up with that punitive finance bill. Jupe ilisaidia wase wafunguke macho. Hatuwezi sema ati this is the worst government we have had. Tumekuwa na government zingine mbaya, but ni vile wase hawakuwa wamefunguka macho.
Walikuwa wamelala.
Walikuwa wamelala. And henceforth itakuwa ngumu sana Kenya to have a bad government coming into power. People are really waiting for them to say
aware. And somebody told me that the biggest danger to a democratic government is a population that is civically educated, a population that is aware of their rights. And that's one of the things that I recommend to these student leaders. Yes, we know sometimes your hands may be tied, but there's one thing which Julius Malema normally does in South Africa. In South Africa, during the Winnie Madikizela's funeral, Winnie Madikizela Mandela's funeral, Julius Malema mentioned something about those people who betrayed you, those people sold you out to the cabal, they are here today. Those people who dissociated or distanced themselves from you during the times you underwent tribulations, they are here today in your funeral. Like those betrayals, we see them in their betrayal suits, we see them, and the funny thing is some of them are crying more than us, but we know them, we see them. And he further continued to say, we mention these few instances just to make them know that we are aware. And that's one of the ways in which these student leaders can be able to curb this menace, in that whenever you go to those UMB meetings, whenever you go to those town hall sessions with the president or with whoever person is there, mention these items, mention these things, make them aware that we know. The same thing wakati sasa nikiingia X, nitaingia hapo nione Adani deal. Nitaingia hapo nione siji kuna minerals in Savo, siji zenye gava inajifanya, siji inaenda kutafuta bodies huko, siji in the recent mining is happening. Disclaimer, that's not really factual. I just gave us an example.
It is allegation.
An allegation. So you find that at least this information, at least the information war has shifted to the public's favor. You find that this information is the public domain.